Is your property yours? Not if government takes it, and it can for what it calls public use. Eminent domain law has long allowed politicians to grab people's property and build needed public projects like roads and railroad tracks. But developers also try to use it unfairly to force people to give up their homes for private projects. Years ago, this developer did that.
You're bullying these people out because they're...
Excuse me, that's wrong. But for you to use the word bully, John, is very unfair. This is a government case. This is not Donald Trump.
Yes, it's Donald Trump. It's you and your cronies in government working together.
For you to call these people cronies is very unfair.
Trump wanted this woman's home to add limousine parking for his casinos. A court eventually ruled against him.
Do you want to live in a city where you can't build schools? Do you want to live in a city where you can't build roads or highways?
I get it that a highway is public use, but now officials in the appropriately named town of Dalton, Illinois, have moved to take the new Pope's childhood home from its current owners so the town can turn it into a historic site. And recently, Georgia's government approved eminent domain
to take portions of up to 18 properties so it can build a railroad that would be used by a private company.
If this happens, where would it stop?
A rail line carrying lots of passengers might be an appropriate use of eminent domain. But this train would just serve one rock quarry.
I am confused that a railroad can come in and demand your property for no reason at all other than they want to use it to make money.
This expansion of eminent domain isn't new. 20 years ago, the Supreme Court actually approved it, ruling that politicians in New London, Connecticut could bulldoze this pink house to make room for an important new business development.
Eminent domain. They can take your home, they can take your land.
I covered that story when this movie about the little pink house came out. Here, the owner learns that eminent domain law lets government take your home to build a highway or a hospital.
But nobody's talking about building a highway or a hospital.
I know.
They just want my home. How could somebody break into my house and take everything I have and go to jail?
Oh, you could shoot them.
I could shoot them. I could kill them.
But if they want the whole thing, it's perfectly legal.
The law requires that government give owners fair value for the property. But the bureaucrats decide what fair value is.
Mrs. Kilo, I have great news. They've agreed to increase their offer by $10,000.
The homeowner didn't want the money. She wanted to keep her home. But the Supreme Court said the town could legally bulldoze the neighborhood to make room for that important development. While this was going on, I interviewed the real-life Suzette Kilo.
We were backed into corners, like animals in a corner.
I confronted the city's lawyer.
Any group of politicians can kick you out of your home.
Well, that's true. But that's true if you want to put up a road, for example. The question is this serving an important public purpose? And we say it is.
It's giving them a lot of power.
Yes, that's true.
At the Supreme Court, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor pushed back against the taking.
Say you had a Motel 6, and the city says, well, if we had a Ritz-Carlton, we would have higher taxes. Now, is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be okay.
So you can take from A to give to B if B pays more taxes?
If it is a significant amount, yes.
Here's Suzette's lawyer.
The one thing that all poor neighborhoods share is that they don't produce much tax revenue. If the court affirms the lower court's decision, then you would put poor neighborhoods in jeopardy.
The court ruled against him and Suzette Kilo 5-4.
U.S. Supreme Court today affirmed the power of local governments to seize private property.
The decision alarmed people enough that some states passed laws limiting the politician's right to grab your property. Years later, I went with Suzette Kilo to look at the place New London said was going to be that booming development.
This are my stairs, and I had a long porch, and this is where the house was.
The city said they had to tear the houses down because development would happen. Tax revenues, all kinds of cool new things, and yet this is what they got. No hotel or upscale housing, no conference center, no nothing.
Kilo's house has been torn down and the lot where it once stood is vacant.
Today, 20 years after eminent domain destroyed Suzette Kilo's whole neighborhood, her lot's still empty. And as I tape this, the only thing that's even started construction nearby is this recreation center, which costs taxpayers money. If this doesn't make you wish politicians had less power, what will? Thanks for watching. To help us make more videos that push back on government abuses, please click that button.